1.5 million kilometers from Earth, in the absolute vacuum of space, there exists a machine that shouldn't work. A machine so complex, so impossible, that its very existence defies the laws of engineering. It can see through time. It can peer through walls of cosmic dust that block any other human eye. And it can detect signals so faint that they are literally echoes of the birth of the universe. But here's what they don't tell you. To function, this machine needs to be colder than deep space itself, and the process that keeps it running is a dance with cosmic death that happens every second. Today, you're going to discover how the most impossible machine ever created by humanity actually works. Its name is James Webb. But don't be fooled by the simplicity of the name. This isn't just a bigger version of Hubble. It's something completely different, something that sees what our eyes never could. Imagine for a moment that you are blind to 99% of reality, that an entire universe of light, color, and movement is happening around you, but you simply cannot see it. That was our condition before James Webb. Because while our eyes see only a tiny fraction of the light that exists, Webb was designed to see the invisible, to capture light that has been stretched by the very fabric of expanding spacetime. But to do that, it needs to operate in conditions that would kill any terrestrial technology in seconds. And the secret of how it survives, is more ingenious than you might imagine. At the heart of James Webb, there is something that looks straight out of a cosmic fairy tale. A pure gold mirror. But this is no ordinary mirror. With a diameter of 6.5 meters, it's larger than a tennis court. But here's the impossible part. It wasn't built as a single piece. It was built as an 18-piece hexagonal puzzle that had to fit together perfectly. In the vacuum of space, each segment is made of beryllium, a metal so rare and toxic that only a few people in the world know how to work with it properly. And each segment is coated with a layer of gold so thin that if you touched it, it would disappear. But why gold? Because gold has an almost magical property. It perfectly reflects infrared light, the light that carries the oldest secrets of the universe. But a giant golden mirror in space would face a deadly problem. A problem that required the creation of the most complex structure ever sent beyond Earth. To understand Webb's next component, you need to understand a terrifying truth about space. Everything that exists emits heat, and heat is infrared light. If James Webb were warm, it would glow like a torch in the infrared spectrum, blinding itself to the faint signals it tries to detect. It's like trying to observe distant stars while someone shines a flashlight directly into your eyes. The solution was to create something that had never been attempted before. A 5-layer sun shield the size of a tennis court, thinner than a human hair, yet capable of creating a temperature difference of over 300 degrees Celsius between its faces. The side facing the sun can boil water. The side facing deep space is colder than any place on Earth. It's such an extreme thermal gradient that it violates our intuition about how heat works. But here's the truly disturbing part. Between these 5 layers, there is nothing. Absolute vacuum. And it is this nothingness that keeps Webb functioning. It is the void that protects it from thermal death. If you're fascinated by these revelations about James Webb's impossible engineering, leave a like on this video so more people can discover these cosmic secrets. And subscribe to the channel because we still have many more mysteries of the universe to unravel. But even with this impossible protection, Webb still faced a challenge that almost made the entire mission unfeasible. Where do you put a machine that needs to be colder than deep space, but still needs to communicate with Earth? Where do you position an observatory that cannot be repaired, but needs to function perfectly for decades? The answer lies in one of the most elegant and terrifying phenomena of celestial mechanics: Lagrange points, 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. There is a point in space where the gravitational forces of the Sun and Earth perfectly cancel each other out. It's an oasis of stability in a chaotic cosmos. But here's what makes this truly grim. This point exists in such a delicate balance that any disturbance can send Webb into an errant orbit through the solar system. It's like balancing a needle on the tip of another needle, forever. And once there's no going back. No rescue missions, no repairs. Webb is alone in the void, relying solely on the perfection of its engineering to survive. But even reaching this impossible point, Webb still had to pass the most terrifying test of all. Imagine trying to assemble the most complex puzzle ever created. In the dark, wearing thick gloves, while hanging upside down, and you only get one chance to get it right. That was the deployment of James Webb. For 2 weeks after launch, Webb went through a sequence of 344 single points of failure. 344 things that, if they went wrong, would destroy the entire mission. 5 layers, each the size of a tennis court, had to separate with millimeter precision. Then, the secondary mirror needed to position itself exactly. A micrometer error would render the entire telescope useless. And then came the most terrifying part. The 18 segments of the primary mirror had to align with nanometer precision, more precise than anything ever built on Earth. Every movement was irreversible. Every adjustment was final. And all of this happened 1.5 million kilometers away, where no human could intervene if something went wrong. But when everything finally clicked into place, when the last adjustments were made, James Webb became more than just a machine. So, how does the James Webb Space Telescope work? It works like an impossible symphony of physics, engineering, and pure human audacity. It is a giant golden eye that sees through time, protected by a shield that creates the most perfect vacuum ever built, floating at a gravitational balance point that exists only in theory. It works by capturing infrared light, heat, so faint that it is literally the thermal echo of the birth of the first stars. Light that has traveled for billions of years through expanding space, being stretched until it becomes invisible to any other human instrument. But here, the deepest truth. James Webb works because it represents the best and the most terrifying aspects of human nature. Our ability to dream of the impossible, and then build it. It is a machine that shouldn't exist, operating in conditions that should destroy it. Seeing things that should be invisible, and with every image it sends back, it reminds us that we are capable of transcending our physical limitations through the pure force of curiosity and ingenuity. James Webb is not just a telescope. It is proof that we can build miracles, even in the most hostile void of the cosmos. See you in the next video.